Alrighty, back here again. Didn't get a chance to do this yet. I kind of showed off some of the tractors that we used to do hay with. But this is my personal tractor here for, doing stall cleaning and working around the property and everything like that. This is my Kioti CK 2610, which is down in there. It is hydrostatic. It's in four-wheel drive, as you can see. I mean, basically everything is nowadays. But it's got I like this tractor a lot. I was looking at Kubotas and, didn't really look at John Deere's, but I was looking around a lot of them, just trying to see what I could try to get for a better deal. And actually, this tractor had some of the best value for the buck, I thought. Did look at LS's as well. Kinda, but there wasn't a dealer real close, and just kind of, I was happy with this for what it was. So but yeah, I'll kind of show a little bit out here. As you can see, it's got a nice big bucket. I believe it's a 66 inch. It tends to be a little bit of an issue with this doorway, because it's only like a 72 inch doorway, so it's snug to say the least, but it works out. It's got a nice loader on it. This is a lighter one, the 30. This is the 2610, so it's got a 25 horsepower. It's under the tier 4 requirements, and so with that, you don't need a DPF. You don't need any kind of emission standards, excessively. So I mean, it's basically a tier. I think I looked up, and it's a tier 3 motor from the CK 35 line of Kiotis. Except for they've, improved a few things, obviously, for the time, because I believe they've used that motor for like close to 12 or 15 years or something like that. But yeah, so I mean, it's got a lot of nice features on it. It's got the twin touch pedals there. It's got your brake right here. The loader joystick is over here, kind of down. Very ergonomic, no complaints there. The 3-point lift is right here, and you have some options for external hydraulics if you want it. Loader lockout switch there. Haven't really used that much. Haven't taken the loader off. I mean, it is a quick detach one, but I haven't even messed with it yet. So it's got pretty nice tires on it, industrials. Let's see. Oh, they're Goodyears. And let's see. As you can see, I've kind of been into some mud and different terrain. And once I don't have these weighted down, but once in a while, there's some times like when I think I would like it weighed down. But yeah, for the most part, I don't think it's needed for my issue. But maybe down the line, I may. But the 3-point back here. It's a pretty standard looking 3-point. It's got some turnbuckles for stabilizers and for your adjustments. Haven't had any issues with them yet or anything like that. Your hydraulic oil check is right here on the back. It's got a pretty nice stout rear end. I was looking at some of the Kubota options, and they were a little lighter looking. I wouldn't say that they're lighter, but I kind of liked how this one looked. And in the end, you're gonna like what tractor you buy, unless you end up hating it because it falls apart or something. But fuel tank is in the back. That's actually a really nice feature. You really don't think about it until you actually use one like that. A lot of the compacts don't really do that. But a lot of the bigger tractors will older ones sometimes will have them in the back, or they'll throw them up on the side down here. For bigger tractors. But this is a nice feature because you really don't need to straddle to fill. You got lots of room here to fill it up, and you don't spill. I know a lot of other machines will have it here, and it's not really that big of a deal, but depending on what kind of machine you have. So let's see. It does I have the SMV sign off it, but it mounts right there on the side. Nice roll bar that folds. I basically keep it folded down to fit underneath my garage and stuff, but if I go on the road, I'll take it out and put it up. Didn't come with a toolbox. There's some options I think that you can, you know, get rigged up, but there's no, to my knowledge, I don't think there's a manufacturer spec toolbox. But what I did here is I took an ammo can and bent, you know, a little bracket frame here, and there's, you know, lots of attachment points, so I screwed in the bucket there. So I just have room for pins and tools and stuff like that. But it holds good and it works, so I'm not going to complain about that. You know, that's a pretty simple idea. I mean, you just get some cheap, you know, straight bar like that and bend it to fit. So, so it works. So if you have a CK, I mean, that's probably the best idea for a toolbox I've came across. I've seen some where they mount up here, but I mean, this is kind of down out of the way. Doesn't take up any of your visibility or anything like that. So let me know what you guys think on that. And then yeah, so you got your clutch. I mean, it is a clutch. Like I said, some of the Kubotas had some clutchless models, and that kind of is a nice feature, but I'm not afraid of it on this. And then here you got your PTO lever. It's a 3-speed, low, medium, and high with a neutral in between each. Probably my biggest, once in a while I run into issues where it just doesn't want to slip out of, you know, medium gear and go into low, so sometimes I kind of let go of the clutch and play with it a little bit, but it works. I think it's just because it's new and needs to be worked in. But the loader, I think the loader specs, like I was saying earlier, the 3510 and the 4010 use a little bit higher spec loader. This one, I believe, can lift about basically just under 1,300 pounds. It's a little different construction. As you can see, it's a little bit more, if you look at pictures up close, this one's a little bit more rounded, which I actually kind of like, because when you're on it, there's lots of visibility. Nothing, you know, if it went straight across here, you'd lose some of your viewpoint there. And I think the CK is a little different because you have to fold the front roll guard or front bars here down to be able to open up the engine bay. A little clip down there to lift it up or to let it loose. I mean, everything's pretty easy to get to. Filter's nice and easy to service. Batteries nice and easy to service. Obviously, if I was going to do some work on the motor, I'd probably take the loader off. But I mean, everything's nice and clean down in there, and looks pretty easy to get to. Like I was saying, you know, this is a model that typically has DPF. I think even on the muffler you can see right there where it would run to a DPF filter. So there's a lot of extra room in here, and it's kind of nice, to tell you the truth, because I think that's something you always run into, especially on newer equipment nowadays. Things seem to be getting tighter and tighter, so always want to make sure you get this pinned back up, because you don't want to accidentally lift the loader into it and hurt it. There we go. Holds pretty good. It doesn't rattle or anything. Other than that, I mean, it's got lots of nice features. I mean, it's got the quick attach and stuff like that. So far, I've liked it for what I've been doing. I don't have too many hours yet. I'll probably do a bigger review on it down the line. But nice thing is, you just turn the key until it clicks there. And I've had this kind of run a little bit, cleaning some stalls. But I mean, your dash instrument clutch is pretty nice. You got lots of idiot lights down here to work with. Hour meter, RPM, fuel, and your engine temp. But it starts right up. It's a little louder than say, you know, Kubotas I've ran. But I think it's because it's a tier 3 motor technically, you know, an older design. But you know, hydraulics are quick. I mean, decent speed. So, I mean, I got no complaints about hydraulic power. Shut it back down. Yeah, I got about 18.7 hours on it so far. But yeah, I mean, I was kind of worried. I mean, one of my concerns that I've heard people saying about like this model specifically is that, you know, it might be a little underpowered, but I don't feel in any way, shape or form that it is underpowered for what you use it for. You know, like I said, I think, you know, they changed the loader a little bit, maybe so that way the lower horsepower is gonna maybe run a little quicker with this model versus, you know, if you had left the original loader on it or something like that. But I mean, it works good. Like I said, I like the ergonomic. I mean, it follows right with the slope of the hood. Visibility is basically king on this thing. I couldn't beat it with what I've looked at different manufacturers. I mean, there's obviously lots of options you can do on this. Been thinking about getting a floor mat for obvious reasons, just because it beats the heck out of your floor there. I've already wore through a little bit of paint there, as you can see, but that's where you step and roll off. But it's pretty sturdy. I mean, it's all steel, you know, hood, fenders, and everything. So I mean, you could sit there all day and talk about what's better, but plastic or steel. And in the end, it's just how you use it. Plastic, you know, it's not going to dent or scratch as bad, but it'll get worn out just like a paint job on a metal hood. But you know, it's just personal preference, and to me, it really doesn't matter. When I was looking, I didn't care about stuff like that. I was just looking for, you know, the most features I could get for the money. And so far, this seems to be a pretty good buy. I don't have any, like I said, just the shifter knob here being a little tough to get in once in a while. That's about the only real, and then the toolbox, that's about the biggest complaints I have with the thing there. I really thought about going with the 3510 because it had, you know, another 35 horsepower versus 25. So 10 more horsepower, and then the 4010. I didn't even consider the 4010, but I really thought hard about the 3510 because, you know, I figure I was looking at a smaller model, their CK 2510, which is a lot smaller frame. And, you know, I've always heard the adage of just buy as big as you can afford and as big as you can use, because then you won't be as disappointed. And if I got a smaller tractor, then I might not be able to do certain things. I mean, with my plow that I have over there, it takes about all this tractor's got. I mean, I think if I weighted down the tires, it'd help out a lot, but I mean, I have to basically put it in four-wheel drive to try to get good traction with it. So, and that could be because I didn't get ag as well. So, but that's another video for another story for another day. But yeah, I mean, another thing to note is, before I end this video, is you know, these fold down loader arm, or, you know, stands. Like I said, I haven't used them yet, but they're very nice. They fold up tight to the frame. You know, they're not something you got to take out. They're just real simple looking, and you know, I have taken it out. You got to lift here like that, and they come down. Real sturdy design in my mind, and they clip back in. And then there's like a pin down there that you have to do to keep it up. But yeah, so I mean, that's kind of a brief overview of the CK 2610. If I were, you know, looking, I mean, I would buy this again in a heartbeat. There's obviously some other tractors I could choose, but, you know, if you're looking and you're trying to whittle it down, I mean, from my perspective, it's so far been a pretty good tractor. Like I said, I'll do an update soon, but you know, so far I'm liking it a lot.